Hey there everybody, my name is Kat Bowser. I'm your resident fantasy therapist and welcome back to my channel. Those of you here for the first time, welcome. My name is Kat Bowser. I'm a licensed therapist. I'm also a writer working on my first couple of novels for publication. And on my channel, I like to talk about what I consider to be the heart of writing, and that's the characters. And the heart of the characters lies in their psychology. So that's the angle I like to take with pretty much everything I talk about on my channel. Hey guys, so today we have another recommended or requested video, and this is from Lottenhalm AuthorTube. I apologize if I said your name wrong. And they brought up an interesting question, and that was the belief or trope that people that have gone through trauma are more understanding, or as we call it in therapy, empathic people. And they want to know, is there any relevance to this belief? And this is actually a really interesting topic because we actually have a lot of research on it. So that being said, we're going to just jump into it, and I'm going to give you guys the most recent research that we have on this topic, and you can apply it as you see fit. Now, bear in mind, this is a complex topic, so there's always outliners. So just bear that in mind. Anytime we talk about anything psychology, that's kind of going to be the deal. So if you guys just want the short and sweet of it, what does the research say? People that have gone through trauma, are they more empathic or less empathic? More empathic, significantly. This has actually been proven across multiple studies that people that have been through forms of trauma, whether it be abuse, war, natural disasters, all that stuff, when given tests to indicate if they are more empathic towards other people, they rank much higher than people that have not gone through trauma. And they not only rank higher, they rank higher in what we call effective empathy, which is basically not only do you see and recognize someone's feelings and emotions, but you know what to do with it. So you know to approach them, you know to offer them support, whatever. That's effective empathy. Basically, not only do you know it, but you know what to do with it. So that is the short answer. Yes, they are more empathic. But I know the question that generally comes up with is, but wait, isn't there also research that says people that have been through, like, specifically abuse, are they not more likely to be abusive? Yes, but there's a caveat to that. And I want to kind of dig into that a little bit, because I really think that's where kind of the confusion comes with this belief, in that how can they be more empathic if they're also more likely to be abusive? So let's talk about that. So the research says that someone who has been through abuse has a 33% chance of becoming an abuser themselves. Someone who has not been through abuse has a 11% chance of becoming an abuser. So do they have more of a chance? Yes, but it's not this huge difference that a lot of the media likes to portray it as. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret here. Anytime there is research done, the way it is presented is a key factor, because you can present data in a manipulative way without actually changing the data. And let me give you an example. So like I said, if you've been through abuse, you are 33% likely to become an abuser, as opposed to the 11%. But that's not usually what the research says. The research tells you they are one third of people that are abused will become abusers. That sounds significantly worse, doesn't it? And the other thing is, they never tell you, okay, if 1/3 are likely to become abusers, that means 2/3 do not. That also means that approximately 66% do not. But they don't tell you that. They purposely leave that out. And that is one way that the way data is presented can be skewed a little bit. I think one of the most useful things I learned in college was how to read a research paper, because you start to notice, okay, they're trying to play with how they're presenting it here. So that's something that you start to notice. So that being said, is it higher for people that have been abused? Yes. But that also brings up the question, if 33% become abusers, but 66% do not, what's the difference here? And the main difference, honestly, is if they have made the connection that the abusive behavior is not normal. That is the key factor in what makes someone become abusive and what makes someone not to become abusive. So usually what we see is people that have been in abusive situations, the ones that go on to become abusers were usually very isolated. They usually didn't go to school. They usually didn't have interactions outside of whatever this abusive family structure was. People that did go to school and did have chances to see other relationships and the way other people's lives ran generally come to the conclusion, my life is not normal. Something's going on here that is not normal. And that can be a big factor in changing how they end up going on with their lives. The other thing is, was the abuse presented concurrently with love? And what I mean by this is, was the abusive behavior dismissed as, it's because I love you? Let me give you guys an example. Someone is sexually abused as a child, but they are told consistently, it's because I love you. I do this because I love you. And that really does something with the brain, especially when you're little, because now the person associates, even subconsciously, being hurt with being loved. And that's a lot of times why they end up in further abusive relationships until they can separate the two. So in those cases, therapy definitely does a big part in helping them to not become abusers themselves. But like I said, the key factor is they have to recognize that this isn't normal, that this isn't something that other people do. And that's why usually what you see is as people get older and they are exposed to more environments, they start to realize, okay, what I've been through is not normal. And then they can kind of start to reach out and search for resources themselves and come to conclusions on their own of, okay, just because I grew up with this doesn't mean I should have had to grow up with this. So that honestly is the big factor in determining if someone becomes abusive or not. So when we say that people that have been through trauma are more likely to be empathic, it is true. It is also true that people that have been abused are slightly more likely to become abusers. But again, the way the media presents it and the way the research even presents it skews it. And that's very unfortunate. But unfortunately, like I said, it does happen. So that's why I kind of want to give you guys a clue in here. Here's how sometimes they manipulate data, is just by the term they use, by what they don't tell you. So short answer, yeah, people that have been through trauma are more empathic. Because as a general rule, they recognize pain and they recognize suffering much easier than someone that has not been through that kind of situation. Are there outliners? Yeah, of course. There's always going to be outliners, guys. You're never going to have a sampling that is 100% one way or the other. There's always going to be a few that go this way, a few that go that way. But overall, this trope that people that have been through difficult situations, trauma, war, whatever, being able to connect and be more empathic, yeah, that's pretty factual. The one thing that I will say usually isn't factual in this case is usually people, especially like people that have been isolated, they do kind of lack in the social skills. So they may not necessarily know how to reach out to people. So that is basically the research that we have on this topic thus far, and it is a very interesting topic, and I do think it's an important topic, because unfortunately I think people that have been through trauma and abuse, unfortunately they're usually regarded as, you know, this person's going to be dangerous, this person is, you know, they're looked down upon, and that's not fair and it's not right. So I think getting this research out there that actually these people are more likely to be empathic and to be willing to help other people is really important. So thank you for asking this question, Lottenhalm AuthorTube. I really enjoyed answering it, and I do think it's important, and I would love to see more people tackle this in their writing, that yeah, people that have been through a horrific situation, they are actually usually kinder than most other people. I know that's surprising to some of you, but I mean, if you kind of look at the reasoning behind it, I think it makes a lot of sense. So thank you guys for chiming in for this video. As always, if you guys have comments or suggestions, leave them below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. I try to give you guys 2 videos a week, sometimes more if I can, but definitely try to get you guys at least 2. And as always, if you guys want to get notified whenever a new video goes up, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you get a notification whenever a new video goes up. And until next time, I hope you guys stay safe and have a good one.